Can't hold back, can't hold back no more. Yeah, yeah. I'm done being silent, but I don't feel like I need to speak about it. I'm not running from you no more, so I open up my heart, and I'm hoping we're not far, 'cause memories pass by me. Let me show you something new. Let me give you all my truth. Love in the moment, you gotta own it. Let's not waste no time. I don't wanna rewind, I've seen enough plays. Lived through the rough days. Had to put some niggas in the right place. Took a few licks and I kept pace. I'ma run it up 'cause I know how to do it. Skip the small talk 'cause I'm getting straight to it. Butterflies, don't make me wait. Look so hard but still can't read my face. Peace sign, tucked on my waist. Caught in the middle of the air, I'm out of space. Butterflies, don't make me wait. Look so hard but still can't read my face. Peace sign, tucked on my waist. Caught in the middle of the air, I'm out of space. Can't hold back, I can't hold back no more. Love in the can't hold back, you gotta own it. Can't hold back no more. Can't hold back, can't hold back no more. Yeah, yeah. I'm done being silent, but I don't feel like I need to speak about it. I'm not running from you no more, so I open up my heart, and I'm hoping we're not far, 'cause memories pass by me. Let me show you something new. Let me give you all my truth. Love in the moment, you gotta own it. Let's not waste no time. I don't wanna rewind, I've seen enough plays. Lived through the rough days. Had to put some niggas in the right place. Took a few licks and I kept pace. I'ma run it up 'cause I know how to do it. Skip the small talk 'cause I'm getting straight to it. Butterflies, don't make me wait. Look so hard but still can't read my face. Peace sign, tucked on my waist. Caught in the middle of the air, I'm out of space. Butterflies, don't make me wait. Look so hard but still can't read my face. Peace sign, tucked on my waist. Caught in the middle of the air, I'm out of space. goes down. Not an eagle, but I know it hurts when it feel like you putting the work, but nobody putting you first. And the pain you gotta rehearse. I was spending my time in the rain, I was spending my time in the dirt, till I made the one to reimburse. Got my time back like reverse. Everybody try to be number one, stand on the treetops, but I know when we stay low, we don't gotta worry how high we go. I'm riding over the dark clouds, I see the sunlight, we were just way down, we living apart, no we living apart, no we living upside down, dog, it's upside down, it's upside down, dog, it's upside down, it's just one crown, dog, it's just one crown, it's just one crown, dog, it's just one crown.
Is there a reason I can't see myself?
Had to drop the kind like yay. It's just one crown, dog. It's just one crown. It's just one crown, dog. It's just one crown.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Extra Credit. We are back and better than ever. What a great day. What a great day. Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm getting adjusted over here. I can't even see the chat yet, so y'all just bear with me. I'm sorry about my hat, y'all. I'm just... Oh my goodness, the chat never been jumping like this in the first 1 minute. First, second, third. Wow. I agree with everything y'all are saying in here. You see the chat, babe?
Yeah, I'm looking. Well, I'm trying to get all this stuff set up. Do y'all like us on split screen better, or this
can
back
y'all
and forth?
Tell us what you like better.
I like this because I can put it on you while I stuff my face.
Is yours cold?
It tastes good.
Is it cold though? I promise you this pasta does not want to get hot. Earlier we were putting it in the oven. It would not heat up. I just microwaved it for 3 minutes. It's cold at the bottom. It tastes so good though. I just don't know why it won't get hot. Like I don't know. Okay, hold on. They're saying back and forth. Everyone's still going on about the word because y'all. I'm talking like jaw on the floor the whole time. Like, what the what? What? Still like, what? Who's ready for part 2 tonight? I don't have a mean to describe how good that word was. I was leaping and having a whole moment. It was just, I felt like the clarity and the way that it was broken down was just, yeah. Also, Jeremiah, it's actually called Good Works, but you were close.
What you say? What you talking about?
He said it was called Great Works. Stop, I'm about to run. I'm cracking up.
Jay Wood said Rip must have been due.
Okay, Caitlin likes a split screen.
Said who?
Caitlin likes the split screen. Nene said back and forth. Yes, very authentic. Has to be rewatched a minimum of 30 times. Oh, part 2 is called Great Works. That's funny.
Part 3, Greater Works.
That's a word.
Bring back the.
That's a word right there.
The DVD series.
The DVD series, yes, bro. Sometimes we just need to take it back. I was talking to Daniel about how a great business idea would be like old school ice cream trucks, but like modernize it and make it dope and just drive through neighborhoods, because our kids are missing the experience of like hearing the ice cream truck from inside your house and be like, Mom, I need $2, please, the ice cream truck, and then running back outside and like, you know. So we also need DVD sets. Part 4, Greatest Works. Y'all are so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, Anaya likes the split screen. Oh my gosh. Guys, what are we gonna do?
Should we switch?
I don't know.
I can change it to that.
Can you make the split screen cleaner without the blue background?
You gotta have a background if you do split screen.
Why can't you just like do full split screen? Like to the edges.
Like cropping us?
Yeah.
Because the video's not vertical. You really don't like the blue background that much?
Correct. Okay. He used to stop in front of y'all's house because he knew it was a house full of big bags.
No.
That's not what she said, but that's what she said. And the ice cream truck that come to our parking lot at the salon, but no one goes out. No, is it the one that literally looks like it's children in the back of it? We've been seeing one on Courthouse Road, and it literally looks like so broken down. I don't know how it's still moving, and it has like a cage on the back. Very sus. Very sus. It's probably the same one, and that's what made me think of how we need like a cleaner, fresher version of it. That one is very creepy. I think there's one in my trunk. There's one upstairs. Whichever you think is closer. On my side of the bread. I don't know. I think so, yes. Daniel's trying to put it back into a split screen. For those who prefer that. I don't know what you mean by popping up, but I think so.
In your StreamYard? Yeah, it is.
You didn't want to go get it?
I don't need to.
Oh. Well, here we are back on the... Oh, my mic is muted? Hold on. Is that what I need to do?
No, you gotta mute it.
Can they hear me? Can y'all hear me? The ones I've seen recently look like they need a new battery or a speaker. It gives that the ice cream will be bad vibes. Exactly. It's giving tummy ache. It's giving poison control. Ice cream truck at my job always came the exact same time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm a big bag and a small back body. I meant to check on you this week, Kay. Please text me. Let me know how you're doing. Strawberry ice cream top tier. We're saying strawberry ice cream is top tier of all ice creams of all time?
All right. Let's get to the show.
I know, but you've been dilly-dallying around.
All right.
With the equipment. You just got here.
Let's do roll call.
Please.
All right. You do attendance this week because last week you said I was trash.
I was about to get up and go heat my food up again. It's time for roll call. Roll call. Roll call. All right, everybody. If you are in the chat today, please put 5 stones in the chat. 5 rocks. I don't know if there's a smooth rock emoji, but just any rock you have. 5 smooth stones in the chat. Give it up for David, okay? Jeremiah, do not put a sword in the chat because I just know how you think. Do not test me tonight. Stones in the chat and let us know your name so we can shout you out, and welcome back to the show. That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to figure out what is this mummy head y'all are finding? Is that Goliath's head?
Why y'all gotta be weird every week? What is that? Diamonds?
That is a rock. I'm cracking up.
What is that?
That looks.
Is that
sushi?
All right, go ahead and call these people out. Go ahead and go ahead with the shout out.
Y'all are cracking me up. Okay, what's up, Nene, Caitlin, Selah, Enai, Q-Asian, not the whole gang in a row. Eli.
Hold up, pause real quick.
Yes.
For those who are tuned into the show for the first time, we're doing roll call. This is an interactive show, which means that we interact with the chat, we talk, we hang out. So don't just watch.
Participate.
You're probably in the bed, laying to your side with the phone on the lock screen. But you can comment and put something in the chat so we can shout you out.
Listen, you could be chilling on the couch, you could be laying in the bed, you could be folding laundry, you could be doing dishes, packing your kids' lunches, you could be shining your shoes. I don't really care what you're doing. But whatever it is, take a moment. Be interactive. The extra credit is a participation grade. Okay, if you want to get the extra credit, you must participate.
I don't want to be watched from the toilet, so for the person, shout out to the person who's out there sitting on the toilet right now. You're there, your leg is going numb. Turn us off and just turn us back on once you finish doing what you're doing.
First of all, no. We don't care where you watch from. You can watch from the toilet. You can sit on the throne the whole time for all I care. Legs can be numb. Can't even take one step after. As long as your thumbs work, be in the chat.
Nah, bro. Your phone's gonna get dirty. You get splash on it.
Splash? Are you speaking from experience?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. Eli, Monet, what's up? Nick, Joy, Christian, Brittany, Kayla, Kashayla. What's up, Aaron? Hold on, I lost my spot. Hold on now. Wait, hold on. Wait, what just happened? I got lost. Okay, there we go. Charity, what is up? Nick and Lauren, let me get it right. Let me come correct. Yanni, Ebbs, Jeremiah, I don't know what that is. I don't know. The tiki head. It's the tiki head. I'm cracking up.
I know what it is.
Jay Wood, yeah, but I was thinking something else. I don't know why. It wasn't coming to me. Lene. Who else we got in here?
Ice?
I don't know. You know Jeremiah is always on some tomfoolery. If you're not subscribed, that's an expulsion. Exactly.
Yeah. So make sure you subscribe. Go ahead and like the video. We got like 44 people on right now. I know some people just tune in to kind of see what we on. But go ahead and like the video. Let's get the likes up.
7 Energy on deck. Okay. Gotta keep the vibes up. Babe, I have to throw this in the microwave. I'll be right back. I cannot get cold.
All right, cool. So, we about to get into our show for tonight. I actually had a video. I thought I had one, but I might not.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yes. Like the video. Did we already say that? Like the live. Okay. That is part of your grade. Don't miss points. Okay. Red Bull gives you wings. First of all, 7 Energy is unmatched. Doesn't make me jittery. And if I could drink the whole thing, I could stay up all night or I could go right to sleep. It's my choice. Works like a charm every time. The only time that I might get start feeling a little tiny bit jittery is if I haven't eaten in multiple hours. Red Bull just gives me just heart attack vibes. Celsius, Can't do it. I used to drink those though.
Celsius don't taste good.
Water is the best energy drink.
That's a lie.
Okay, Jeremiah. Okay. Daniel, did you find your video?
No, I didn't.
Dang, that's crazy work.
I didn't. What we on tonight though? Like what we talking about tonight?
I feel like there's so much to unpack today. You know? Going a little bit a little bit over like the past month of our lives. Is this one life that we're living, or is it two lives?
It has been a lot.
It has been a lot. Exactly, Eli. Performative. Exactly. I'm talking about Jeremiah, talking about water is the best energy drink. He said it was performative. Yeah. About a month ago, like, we took over a launch, trampoline park, and we've been running full force with that. Still running our media company, still working full-time in ministry. Lots going on, all those departments. We got kids in school, projects due, all kinds of stuff going on. And then on top of that, we've had, go ahead.
This week, we're the speakers for at Guardian Christian Academy for their spiritual emphasis week, their middle and high schoolers. Mm-hmm. And when they initially asked me, I thought it was like one day out the week where we would just come in and do like chapel. But then in the meeting that we had about a month ago to prepare for it, they were saying, yeah, like the dates are April, like what's today? They were saying the dates are like April 20th through the 24th. And so I was like, okay, cool. Like which day do you want us to speak? And they had to clarify that it was like, no, like every day. Like, which I think is a cool concept, but I just think that it just kind of shows the speed at which things are moving. And I think I shared a couple of weeks ago that I'm just like I can see things are kind of starting to unfold very quickly.
It's crazy.
And because of that, it just kind of felt like certain people may get aggravating to you because they're not moving at the same speed or anticipation that you kind of see God moving in. Mm-hmm. And you know, like when you're in a season like this, it's just like you just gotta execute, go do it. It's not time to try to plan or, you know, it's just a lot that you gotta do, which is one of the ways that God lets us know that He's God. Because part of me felt like, bro, like I feel like all of this is happening to me, and that I don't even have a full grasp or even the ability to feel like, oh yeah, look at me and look at everything that I'm doing.
It's like you're on the horse and the horse is running, but you feel like you don't have the reins, like, or whatever. Right. But I feel like it's so much. Yeah, it's definitely giving Amos 9:13 for sure. And a couple other things that happened in the midst of there. I mean, we had the Gen South event, which ended up being at launch, which was planned even, you know, before we took it over. And then on top of that,
and that was cool because that was kind of like my two worlds colliding.
Yeah.
So it was like what we were already going to do when when Gen South got recognized, you know, as Helps Ministry of the Year, which, you know, I mean, I don't want to downplay it, but, you know, it's just, you know, we just had a time to go celebrate together and hang out. But that took place before we officially took over.
Right.
And at that time, we were in talks about it. Actually, that was even before we got up to New Year's Eve, which is when some of the, like New Year's Eve was such a big day in terms of like all of this happening and making the right moves. And because there was a lot of moves that had to be done a certain way in order for us to be where we are now. So it was very precise. But that day, it was like I was taking calls, like even when I think service first started, and it was like, "Yo, what?" So it wasn't until then that it kind of became real, as in like, all right, this is what we're going to kind of do, and this is what we're going to unfold. So, yeah.
So, just going into continuing with the whole whirlwind. I mean, even for that event, like I should have wore it tonight. I have on this hat, but we did Gen South hats, which were the party favor gift to all the people on the team. Y'all, the event was Tuesday. I ordered all 80 custom hats on Monday. This is the type of very insane, I call myself a crunch time queen, because it'll just be last minute and I'll just be like, God, we're pulling through.
I had nothing to do with planning the event.
Yeah, Daniel didn't have a whole lot to do with
So people were like,
event.
thank you for putting together such a, and I was just like the laws of power tells you to just be like, you're welcome. but I was just like, man, the team is doing a great job, because I'm like,
shout out to Charlene, Charity, Yanni. We all put in work, but
because I'm like, I know it's at launch, but I don't know what they bring in, how they're doing what. People are asking me, where should I? I'm like, I don't know. Like, right. I'm literally like, I don't know. But I think that, like, I'm seeing that when you get to a certain place, like, you got to be able to, everyone's gifts have to come together to make things happen. Mm-hmm. What you looking at?
The plants, I think it's the AC moving them, or you're moving the whole floor. Are you shaking?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The plants were like quaking, and I'm like, what's happening?
Does that look like it's falling over on stream?
It's growing towards the light. That's why it looks like that. But it does look a little disjointed, like you're just seeing its backside. Got its tail turned up in a way. But, we actually skipped over WOW. Because
Beth taught at WOW.
Who? Oh. So annoying, I know. Yeah, I mean, WOW was awesome. And then, full for. Are you done shaking your head?
No, I'm just thinking about all the stuff, because just because, like, it used to be like, all right, if you got to teach or you got to do something, like, you can kind of put everything else on pause. It's like business still goes on. We got people at the building jumping while you
true, and that's
preaching that. Wow,
that's what's so insane too, is because like we used to have a lot going on, but it was one-dimensional in a way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And now there's so many layers to what God is doing at the same time. Like, God is the ultimate multitasker. And I talked about this a little bit in my message. I'll say, like, God, I'm feeling overwhelmed. And he's like, I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that, like, to me, that made me feel settled. Like, okay, then. If I order the hats today, they're going to be here tomorrow. Like,
but it was even today, like, I'm kind of closing service out. And they told me, our managers told us today, and shout out to them.
Shout out to them.
We got a good team. Some people
Very
I just
thankful.
met, but they're like right at 12. We had some birthday parties, and we had just a huge influx of people who got there right at 12, wanting to jump and visiting us. And so, I'm probably doing altar call, and we got people like rushing into the business at the same time, which I think is just really like, because I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then I think it's interesting because then I'm taking a nap later today, and then we get a call because the power went out. The power went out, like the whole shopping center, neighborhoods behind it, like the lights, the traffic lights on Hull Street, everything kind of went out. But it's just one of those things, you know what I mean, that kind of happens, and I just think it's all interesting, and just makes this whole process fun, because then I have to be, all right, well, look, this is what we're thinking about doing. Then I'm like, all right, yeah, cool, get people jump passes, there's some technical things,
Yeah.
but mostly people weren't being unreasonable because like we don't got power. We can't really give you a refund because everything is down. But people were happy to take the jump passes, and we'll deal with some stuff this upcoming week. But I just think it's interesting like how that and this coincide, and like I said, it doesn't stop because we got extra credit, which we love doing, but then we go right into spiritual emphasis week, which we're teaching every day. And I didn't talk, but I think that's a cool concept for students because you get a chance to build a relationship with them throughout the week, and you get a chance to really build some things. And I think that like what we've seen is that there's kids from two different walks of life, and there are kids who may go to a Christian school, but it's like they've heard the messages, and they're kind of at a place where there can be a staleness there. But then you got situations and things where it's totally opposite than that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a lot going on, but I also feel like this is the beginning. And I'm only sharing this because I think that for some, like this is definitely a parallel to what God may be doing in your life. And I'm just sharing, and I'm real big on this, and I kind of shared some of it today. Like I'm really big on you being obedient to God and your assignment. And as I share about my journey, there may be some things that look similar to where you can know and you can pick up wisdom on how to navigate certain things. But ultimately, all of our journeys are a little bit different, but there are some principles that remain the same for all of it. But I think that it's like God is moving. You need to be on point and be sharp. There's going to be some irritation spiritually. There's going to be some things that it can't stop you, but there's going to be some things that pull at you that you're going to have to contend with. There's nothing to be afraid of, but it comes with the territory. And that's one thing that I think we've learned here recently and over the past years, that there's some tough things that the enemy may try to bring, but then the level that God raises things to, it minimizes the foolishness and makes it look like this small.
Minuscule.
Something that used to be this big, that was a big deal to you. Like why they saying this, and why they creating a narrative, and why they trying to twist it, it's like. But that's when I don't even got time.
But that's why perspective, I think, is so important, because I talked about this too. At one point, I felt like I was doing a lot. You know what I'm saying? But then the more that God continued to add, what I thought was a lot before becomes more manageable. And I think that when God increases your territory, he also expands your capacity. And I think that is one of the things that I do believe happened with us as well.
Hold on.
Yes.
Why is Eli in the chat? He in the chat chatting, leaving comments like Rick Ross.
It's giving cloth talk.
Hold on. Let me see.
Hustlers don't stop. They keep going.
Right. It's genuinely levels to this. Levels. Hustlers don't stop. They keep going.
I'm cracking up. Please.
It's like straight rosé.
But one of the things that you were talking about today that really made me think is when you talked about, in the verse that talks about like your good works, it says like your good works that the Father has prepared for you. And I think that really hit me.
Was that in King James?
Because I don't know what version you were reading. It was all over the place.
No, there was one that it was talking about how basically it's like the good works are preordained.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that? I think it's King James.
So what that
King James cool sometimes.
That really hit me because I'm like, it's a setup. Like it's a setup, and it's like all these things that you're praying for, all the things that you're believing for, all these things that God wants to bring you into. He already planned it for you to be there. Like I don't know how. I mean, I could say a year and a half ago, at least, I wasn't thinking about launch. I was thinking about how we tried to have a lock in there and it was pretty cooked. Like, that was the only thought I was having about launch, you know, and now we own it. Like, that's absurd.
Yeah.
But that was a good work that he planned, you know, and it's a good work because it's yielded to him, and we understand that it's not by anything we've done, but again, it's by his grace that we're even in this position. A complete miracle, you know. And so when he puts you on platforms and stages, and he elevates you, and he does these different things, you're yielding to the grace that salvation brings, allows you to be in that position for those things that he set up. But you can't get to the things that he set up if you're busy trying to get to the things that he set up. Like, it's kind of very wild, because it's like, it's a seek ye first moment. You know what I'm saying? It's a seek ye first moment, but I think sometimes we really taint that word because we apply kingdom to anything that has to do with church or God when it's really your obedience. So, anyways.
Yeah, verse 10 in Ephesians 2:9, it's like we're God's NLT, we're his masterpiece. He has created us anew so we can do the good things that he planned for us long ago. So it's then in King James it talks about we are his workmanship, which that's a whole, like, really, I could stay right in Ephesians 2.
Bro.
And I could have, you know, it's like, I try to really, like, I had some scriptures and some different things kind of jotted down. I didn't kind of really know, because my thing is, like, I don't want to be phony in terms of, like, trying to plan out, like, I don't want to say what sounds good. Like, I really want to communicate, like what God is trying to say. And right. So I'm just like, all right, God, just show me how to piece this together. Not so that I can just
he showed you
go down the line, but I mean, Ephesians 2:10, it's like, I think that is key when he says we're his workmanship, because it's like the whole thing with works is that the things that we're trying to physically do is realizing that his work was us. So it's like, it's good. We're his good works that produces good works.
Because he created everything and said that it was
good.
No,
that's fire. But like that's the whole thing, is always like realizing that, like, when you accept Christ, it's like you're acknowledging that you're his good work. So did I need to pause that?
Pause. Just let it simmer.
We are his workmanship, and it is good. But I just think that, like, I don't know. It's just it's so simple, but like I said, you can just get so far away from it.
Yeah.
And I think that
it's also a lot about understanding, like, who you are in Christ. And I think that for people who become saved and they don't have that understanding, that they don't understand how this whole thing that you have already broken down and explained how it functions, then they get caught up in, because you're supposed to shine your light so that they may see people may see your good works, right? And so if they see your good works, but they have to understand, it's the responsibility of us as the kingdom to make sure that people understand that when they come in, so that their motives and perspectives don't take over. Right. You know what I mean?
But and that's why I was talking about, like, if you get boastful and big-headed on, like, kind of like, you know, where you've gotten, and it's like, you know, you can cause others to stumble because you're boasting.
But sometimes people didn't necessarily, I don't think that people always would realize that they were boasting because they were saying, God did this because I this. So they're saying, right, oh no, God did it. But you're saying it was because of you, babes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that was the side of it that was so profound.
And it's like principles do work. Never said that principles don't work. Of course.
Even people in the world work biblical principles.
But really it was your obedience. And if we're all 100% real, it's like, you know, there's something that you did in there that wasn't perfect.
Right. And you know what?
It would have justified.
But we've also heard people say, I did this, I did everything they told me to do for this long, wasn't working for me.
Yeah, you missed the point.
You missed the point,
buddy.
You missed the point, and that's the reason that, you know what I'm saying? But then also, you can sit here and say, I'm not trying to do too much, but there are so many areas in which we still need. You may have made it in the financial arena, or you might have made it in some arena, right? God may have allowed you to be blessed in these areas in spite of what you've done, right? As Daniel talked about earlier today. But are there not still other areas of your life that you need God's grace to cover still? Are your good works what do they do about that? You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people who are still not fully functioning under God's grace are still missing out so much on the fullness of his promises and who he is, because they're focused on the wrong things. And I just think, and it's like, seek ye first the kingdom in all these things, right? It's not leaving anything out. It's nothing lacking, nothing broken. But many of us haven't got to that place, and we're clinging on to the success that we have when God said that's a small thing. Prosperity, that's a small thing, right? We should be walking around healing people. We should be walking, like, there should be so many more miracle signs and wonders that God is doing that we're telling about. That, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, oh yeah. Like, that's great. I'm so glad about that. You know, congratulations. Like, God is so good. But what about the rest of your life? Bishop said last week, he said, y'all always trying to wonder why your life is ratchet.
He said that?
Yes.
He knows what ratchet means?
Yes. No, baby. That's what he been saying too. No, baby. But yeah, seek ye first. Exactly. I need God's grace for the pork chops I made.
No, I was like, I need to fly out to Seattle.
Bro,
for some more,
bro. The way that Jay can cook,
but I know this is kind of left field. I think that you know, so we're talking about, you know, I was able to minister this morning at church. I think that you know, definitely check it out. I think that sometimes in hindsight, you know, when you minister, you're kind of like, man, the people get it? Was it clear? But I kind of feel like the more and more that I yield and get different reps in, I'm able to just kind of feel like, you know, I did my best and said all I felt like God wanted me to say. And I feel kind of like satisfied with that. I know that we need to dig, you know, we can always dig deeper into it. Mm-hmm. There's always more to say. And maybe, you know, for those who have listened to it, we'll do a little Q&A towards the end. Mm-hmm. But I want to pause real quick because there's something else that we're going to be doing. And I want to talk about, because Jay today on Instagram, I saw that he made pork chops.
Are you about to get big back on me? What are we doing?
With apple onion glaze.
Right.
But I want you to remember something, because I think the whole thing that's happening with us right now is that I've always pushed and tried to get outside the four walls. And now we've been put into a commerce and business and just different things that really puts us in an arena to where we're not as boxed in, mm-hmm. which I'm grateful for. And I'm kind of seeing that because it's like, y'all, in addition to the speed at which everything is moving and happening at the same time, I'm meeting so many new people from week to week, whether that be guests that come into our facility. You know, I had a chance to give someone a God Can't Fail band yesterday.
Do you remember when we used to say, like, we need to meet more people? We need to know these kind of people, these kind of people.
It's so many people. It's some people that I've seen online, just on Instagram. And, you know, because I'm not really outside, like talking about, you know, I had a gentleman and another friend that we were able to connect that attend another church and are very pivotal parts of another movement. And so to be able to connect and really like realize kingdom and like whatever that connection will look like, we haven't even necessarily seen what God may want to do, but like there's a lot of connections taking place, which is why like the dog whistling that we talked about last week is so silly, because behind the scenes, like all the dots are connecting. Like, so if you're trying to go to this church to try to and throw shade at this church by posting about this church and trying to throw shade at this church, like it's weird behavior, because God has connected us.
Weird people gonna be weird,
and we're on the same team. So it's just, it looks really silly when you look at it from that perspective. But anyways, I say that to say that when we were with Jay, when we would go out to Seattle with Apostle Thompson for the meetings, he would host us at his house on Friday night.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm following you.
And he would...
that means we need to fly Jay here.
He's been talking about, I'm coming to the East Coast, I'm just like, bro, like...
You know what? I have faith in Jay. Jay is coming.
Yeah. But...
Are you about to give a sneak peek reveal? Go ahead.
I'm not going to say what we're going to call it. Maybe
Okay.
I'll just... But there's something else that we've been talking about doing, and I think that in this
What's up, Darnell?
that in this season, like everything that we've been instructed to do, you know, I kind of wonder where we already supposed to do it.
I know,
or
right?
Not. But one thing that I wanted to do is to be able to host people in our home, and y'all, like the scripture study behind this, and the way that Jesus
was a certified
was
big
always
bag.
eating. Like always dining with people.
The OG, okay?
He was like, he came back from the dead and ate and had 2 sit-down meals. Like it's like
babe, we just need to do the first one.
Like
we just need to
basically like what we're going to be doing is bringing people together and being able to create a dinner experience. But it goes back to what was important in that culture back in the day, to where that's how Jesus would dine with people. When he sat down with Zacchaeus, he introduced himself to Zacchaeus' house. I'm going to come down. No,
he invited himself.
Yeah, I'm going to come down with you. Whatever they talked about over dinner ended up in Zacchaeus receiving his salvation.
Lazy
and then,
disciples not right in the rest.
Yeah, and then it was like people was always mad at Jesus of like, how come you always eating with sinners? Like Jesus got on somebody's case because when they invited him to eat at their house, they didn't offer him like something that they didn't offer him, something to wash his feet or his hands or whatever. But there's so much like, and when you really read through the scripture when it comes to hosting people and dining and communing, even the whole concept of communion, I think that we've churchified it so much till we don't realize that communion was sitting down at a table, like hosting people and sitting down and breaking bread. And the Last Supper was that, which also points to the fact that there were many suppers. There were many times, and so where
to be called the last one.
I just so there's something with that, and more of us, and I especially want to, maybe you could talk to the young ladies, but I just feel like, you know, prepare your homes, prepare not only physically but spiritually to be able to receive people, not to show off, not to, you know, like, you know, and I only say that because you could get to a certain place in life to where I don't need to get into that.
All right.
But I think just being able to host people, because I still remember to this day, like the food was good, but it was the warmth that we felt being able to come over,
even with that cat,
and talk. Yes, like the only cat I've ever liked was the cat in Seattle that Jason had. It was a fat cat.
It was very
fat. The cat
fat.
was huge, and the cat was like...
The cat liked you or something.
Yeah, the cat was like cuddling with me. The cat was acting like a dog. So Shout out to that cat. I forgot the cat's name, but I think that that's something that we need to get to, and we'll read these comments in a second.
Jay is cracking
Yeah, the cat died. What was the cat's name? Rest in peace to the cat.
Also, I want to say, Jay, I think
this was a long time ago though.
Yeah,
this was like over 10 years ago.
But what you're talking about, when you were saying that you hosted some people from Gen Z, like that's very real, and that's very much the idea. And we're excited.
What was the cat's name?
He'll put it in the chat. Darnell, we'll tell you the name. One of the things I want to say too is that the vision of this is to have a collection of people that are churched and unchurched.
Aries?
Maybe we never knew the name. Did you remember knowing the name?
I don't like that cat name. Is that a good cat name?
Okay. While Daniel researches cat names, we just really want to create a community and a space to where the kingdom can really reach out and, we can be the church.
It says Aries is an excellent cat name, ideal for charismatic, bold, energetic, and confident feline personalities.
Please post.
The cat was not charismatic, bold, or energetic. The cat was cuddly and fat and sluggish. But it kind of, I don't know, it was a vibe.
He said, no, Jay, because you're like me. I'm like, all right, next. He said, let him go. Oh, yeah, I don't get emotionally attached to animals.
No, the cat was real life Garfield.
Charity said, Jay, stop playing with us and please post recipes and stop teasing us. And I have to second that because you post all this good looking food and you don't tell nobody how to make nothing. Not even the sauce.
And
not
Jay,
even a side dish.
No,
something.
he be posting on TikTok.
No,
Jay, I'm gonna send you a link.
I haven't seen them.
And see if you're willing to get on. Cause last time you told us, I'm not ready and all this other stuff. But I'm gonna send you a link because maybe we can spend some time tonight talking about just the importance and the heart behind hosting. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like that's something that we got to get back to in this. Yeah, we just got to get back to that.
I'm coming back to the heart of hosting.
No.
Oh yeah.
But talk about how you the thought process behind it. Because I know we had a book that was written by.
Yeah, there's a book called Charity. All Things Lovely. I'm about to say Charity. Yeah. What's it called? It's called All Things Lovely. Charity, maybe you can put the author of who that is and like who she is because I don't remember all the details. She's the wife of a pastor, and they open up their home a lot and do a lot of hosting. And that was the first book that I read that kind of made me feel like I feel like this is something that I don't do, but this is something that I should do. And it doesn't really come natural to me. And my mom is such an excellent host. Daniel, you can talk about my mom's hosting skills, but she just knows how to make everyone feel at home, make sure everyone is fed. And like, I'm the type of person that people will be in my house and it'll be like 30 minutes. And I'm like, oh, did you want water? Like, it's just like, it doesn't come natural, but just relying on the Holy Spirit to lead me through those things. I do like to make things look beautiful. I'm very creative. I love people. But that book really opened my eyes to the purpose behind creating community and why God gives us a home. I think that our home is something that is important to protect your space of your home. But I also believe that God will lead you to know who you should open your home up to. Doesn't mean you should just let anyone inside of your home. But I was very compelled and inspired by that book. And so it was that, and me and Daniel had been looking through the book and kind of talking about some of the, the different, blurbs and things that were written in there over the course of some time. And so when the idea for this movement came, Beth let me part. Darnell, don't get me started. But Daniel had this revelation about these scriptures and, as the entire thing kind of comes to life, the branding of it and all that, you guys will really see in that revelation really come to life. But it basically was giving Jesus the certified big back, with all due respect. And so that really made us think about things differently.
Jesus got accused of eating and drinking too much.
He did. Yeah, he did. And it's like, why would someone say that to you?
Drinking wine. It was like, y'all always, you and your boys,
you and your
disciples are always drinking wine and eating. they accused. Let me find this verse where Jesus is accused of being a big bag. Of what's the sin when you eat too much?
Gluttony. This is actually so real, y'all, and it sounds made up. That's what the crazy part is. But yeah,
man, y'all
not ready. Y'all not ready.
This is all the in between verses that we just kind of be like
glossing over.
Yeah, like it's in Matthew and Luke. So they said the Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they said, "Behold, a man gluttonous and a wine bibber, a friend of publicans and sinners. But wisdom is justified of her children." Let me go to NLT.
Break it down.
19. It said, "The Son of Man, on the other hand, feasts and drinks, and you said he's a glutton and a drunkard and a friend of tax collectors and other sinners, but wisdom is shown to be right by its results." So I think it's a problem when we aren't being questioned by the way in which, and sometimes we get the hanging out stuff confused because we're like, oh, well, I'm not going to the club with my club friends because we feel like that's evil. We're not going to do that. And so I don't want to hang around people that blah, 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 blah. But the way that Jesus was doing it is that he was breaking bread with people who are not like in the temple upright people. Like he would hang with known sinners and he would break bread with them and he would drink wine with them to the point to where they accused him of being a glutton and a drunkard.
Right.
And I'm just like, and they questioned who he hung out with.
Right.
And I think that I just, to me, that's just very profound. No, and it shows a big gap in what we're supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. And we've reduced witnessing to people down to mission trips and cold approaches, like street witnessing,
cold calls.
So I'm just like, yo, like we're supposed to be hosting people.
Wait.
We're supposed to be like.
Montrell said Jesus wasn't trying to live a long life. He left this place at 33. He said everybody in here trying to live old. We're not saying to gorge yourself and overeat, but what we're saying is if that was the impression that they got from Jesus, then Jesus must have really been hang out and having dinners and in that setting. You know what I'm saying? So the pizza at Lodge, definitely, yeah. But yeah, so it's just the idea of having that time. And I think that even as our society, Western civilization has very much moved away from family dinner style in general.
Because see, this that talk. We street witness and don't even know our neighbors.
Talk that talk. But this is actually insane. Because you're not actually nice. No.
Why do we always miss the point?
People are not actually nice. They're doing the ritual. They're doing the thing. This is what you were talking about today. They're doing the things. They're checking the boxes. But you see somebody in the grocery store or you see somebody walking down the street and you don't even wave. You don't even speak to them.
But
I wave at the neighbor, the Muslim neighbor that she don't never wave back to me, and I still wave at her every time because one day I might get to talk to her. You know,
I just hate how we miss the point so much. I'm just like, it's right there. Like they accused him of eating too much and drinking too much and hanging out with sinful people too much. But I feel like why are we not being accused of the same thing? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's what I want to be persecuted for is hanging out with people that you think I shouldn't be hanging out with and loving on people like that.
Having too many dinners.
Yeah, having too many dinners. I'm not ready to say and having too much wine yet because I don't want to.
Christian, it's because their arms and their hands are broken, apparently, because they find it very hard. They need a crane to lift their hand. Do y'all speak to people in public like saying hi, good morning? I do, but that's just kind of my personality.
Yeah.
I definitely do. What about the rest of y'all in the
Darnell
chat?
said my neighbor be bringing us veggies from his garden.
I love that.
But what
that's
are you
community.
What are you bringing to your neighbor?
What are you bringing to?
I'm just messing.
What are you bringing to your? No. Because
hold on. All right, Jay, where's your picture at? Because I see you backstage. All right, I see you.
Why you're pulling him up? But this is like, what are you bringing to your neighbor? But like I was saying that Western civilization has moved away from like family dinners that used to be every night at 6, and when you used to be able to go to your neighbor and get a cup of sugar, and like culture has changed a lot. But also we moved away from like a lot of the things that built community. You know what I'm saying? And then everyone kind of lives in their box, and they live according to that box. It's just very wild.
So I'm about to bring Jay on. Jay, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, and this is Jay from Seattle, and like I said, Jay is a very good host of people, community. You know, I see different things, and I know that that's something that he likes to do. And so, like I said, I didn't see the live going here tonight, but I just think that it's important.
And it's a true gift also.
Yeah. And so
I'm ready to soak it up.
Yeah. Yeah, but I want you to we can hear you. But you can introduce yourself, man, and just kind of share, like, because I like, there's certain people who you just can tell that, like, it's not by accident. Like, you're purposeful with what you do, and there's a mindset behind it. And I know that you don't have to get into too much history if you don't want, but I know that you're a church kid like me, and there's different things that you've experienced. But yeah, you know, the floor is yours.
Okay, well, first of all, thank y'all so much for letting me in. It's amazing space.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, my name is Jay. As Daniel said before, I have a history, a background with history, and that's how and I met the amazing Robinson family, and met them and watched their whole story just become so beautiful. They got a beautiful family. A real beautiful family.
You're causing an echo?
Yes.
All right, let me be.
Okay. Oh, there's no echo now. Perfect. But over the years, I've had the opportunity to host different things. And for context, I think it's because growing up, I'll just jump right into it. I never really felt a sense of home. And so I imagined what would home feel like? And to me, what home felt like was when I had the opportunity to go home to where I was born, which was Buffalo, New York. My grandmother was the one in my life that would always have people over at the house. There was always some type of get together. She was a woman of God, but she knew how to like cultivate. And I didn't realize that by me watching her, that was actually getting on me, because I loved the sense of home. And growing up, it was very in my world, even though my family was in ministry, there were things going on in the home that did not align. And so we knew how to put on a good face. But the reality of it is that we were more broken than we realized. But in the midst of that brokenness, I found the love of cooking. Now, my grandmother was one that taught me how to bring people together, but it was my mama that introduced me to the kitchen. And she told me that seasonings were like personalities. If you blend them right together, you could bring out the best flavors, and not just in food, but in people. So I started playing around with that. And then fast forward, I was like, well, then what would it look like to cook for people that you know? So I remember having my first apartment, having some friends that are not my friends no more, but that's not the issue. But what I learned was there was something about food food and conversation. Food has a way, now let's not think about Big Bag, I'm just saying in general. Food has a way of breaking down walls when it's hard just to communicate with your words. So for me, I struggled with, of course, like, how do I connect? So I thought if I serve you something, if I answer a need, we can find a solution. And I think it doesn't matter what age you are. I learned that if I deal with what we deal with every day, which is we are hungry and we need to lay our heads down somewhere. And when you think of Jesus, rarely did you hear him like, so by the way, I'm the Son of God. By the way, I heal people. By the way, he would perform miracles and answer needs. If you were blind, he didn't heal the foot, he healed the eye. If you were hungry, he fed them food. He didn't hand them a rock and say, speak. So if I just began to take the concept without throwing Jesus in people's faces. I grew up in church, but I was like, what would it be like just to answer a problem and simplify it? I didn't realize that would take me not just from being in the church and serving people to then fast forward down the road, I would end up feeding people in the career that I'm in. I have fed producers, musicians, all different types of people. And I do not have to ever say, oh, by the way, I serve the Lord. They experience God by how that I serve them. Woo. So I'll let that sit for a moment. Because a lot of times I think we feel like we have to fill the space with our words. We feel like we have to say something. We feel like we have to make sure we just fill this room. But a lot of times it's just by our actions. I think that's a big thing for me. And so I have dealt with criticism. Because growing up in church, it's like everything needs to be revolved around the church. But I stand by, go into the world and preach the good news. What is the good news? What is the good news and how do you relate that good news? And so not only did I feed the amazing people like Daniel and Bethany, but I would turn around and feed people from my gym. You see these people all the time. Maybe it's a coworker. Now, here's the thing. The world is crazy today, and I do agree with this. You can't let everybody into your home because you got to really, your home is your sanctuary and you don't want anybody just to disrupt that. So you do need to use wisdom. You know what I'm saying? And maybe if I can go back in time, I've had some experiences where I've let people in my home and I'm like, after seeing their fruit, seeing their lives, and it does not align, you can't come back. Sorry. But I do believe majority of the time when people are hungry, if you create a space that is welcoming, I really believe it could go well for you. And so for me, I used food as a platform, and that very thing now serves the world in bigger spaces, such as I created this thing called Cooking with Jay. And now I'm not just feeding Christians, I'm now going to universities and feeding college students. Now, here's the thing. I'm still giving them what I always wanted. I wanted a sense of home. How many college students go to universities and they say in the month of September and October and January is the highest suicidal rates for college students? So if I could come and go into the world with the gift that God has given me, allow the wall to drop by serving them, I might just have some conversations that they could not have before. And I didn't have to fill the room with my words first. So I think that's the importance of hospitality is, you don't have to go around saying, and rarely do I don't say this, and they could testify to it. I never came to them and said, you know what, I can really cook real good in this kitchen. I just said, come over and let me share with you my gift. And that created conversation that we are now into this game, 14, 15 years later? So your gift will make room for you. Your gift will put you in rooms and it will expand your room too. So if say for instance, now listen, if you can't cook a full gourmet meal, don't lie. That's why you have a girlfriend called charcuterie. Use her. You can get charcuterie with you, get some meats and cheeses, or maybe you come together with some friends and how can we just present something to create a sense of home? I think that's the biggest thing that Jesus did, was that he created a sense of home so we could keep coming back to him. That's salvation to me. So I don't want to ramble, but number one, I think we need to simplify it. It doesn't have to be that hard. Gen Z, listen, if you're trying to If you're trying to target the next generation, they are exhausted with our performance as millennials. So they need simple, they need authentic, they don't need pyro, they don't need all these words. Just feed them. And you'd be surprised. I can't tell you how many times I've met with people younger than me that have been like, I struggle with addiction, I struggle with depression, I struggle with, and that's where I slip in. Hey, you may not serve God the way I do, but can I just show you how it worked for me? And I have turned more people towards something that seems so far-fetched and so big. And now I've been able to simplify it. Just heal the blind man, answer the problem, just feed them. Don't make it big to do. And you might not get a big crowd. I have fed 2 people and I have fed in my home 100 people, but that's what I do. That may not be what you do, and you might not feel comfortable with it. But I think the biggest thing is ask God to give you a sense of home, not a house. You know, Luther Vandross talks about that. Sorry, but a house is not a home. You need to ask God to make your house a home. And so that way people could feel safe to want to come in. And that's not for everybody. So.
Yeah. Do you have a question?
I mean, there's so much that he just shared that I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That's a major revelation there.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if you had but you kind of did share. I was going to ask like different experiences that you may have had within just hosting, so where it ended up being a major and not that. And I don't know, maybe it could happen, but I'm not saying the lap cloths had to come out and the tissues and you know what I'm saying? Like all that, like we're not trying to force all of that, but was there ever a situation where it was something that was like, man, that's memorable because, it's already, I think, big enough just feeding people and showing and sharing God's love with them. It doesn't have to be
But there's
extra,
more than,
but has there been something that you said like, well, I remember this moment where this really, there's a big thing that took place as a result of just someone feeling at home and being fed.
I had this one example. I was seasoning down some ribs, and one of the guests came over ahead of time, and they were sitting with me, and I'm seasoning down the ribs, and I said, I just said something simple, and I was like, I would never serve somebody something that is undone. And I think we're in a world where there's so much of us feeling like we just can't be ourselves. And so I opened up and said, I'm in therapy. And I said, I'm just working on me. And you can have God and a therapist. Because sometimes you actually physically need to sit with somebody. And this dude sat there and he had a moment. And he says, I was kicked out the church. And I said, oh. And I said, do you know the context? He says, I just was struggling with my mental health. And I went for every prayer. I walked up to the altar all the time and I was told I don't believe in the power of God. I said, well, I can't speak to that moment, but what I can say is I want to simplify this for you. And I said to him, if you have an injury with your knee, do you go to the dentist? He said, no, I would go to. I said, if you're having a tooth problem, do you go to a foot doctor? He says, no. So I really believe that God puts people in this earth that specialize in being able to connect us with something that we don't understand. They are not God, but there are people that are placed in this earth that have put themselves through what they need to so they can understand somebody like you. And there's nothing like, could it be that God will use somebody? I said, for me, it was my grandma. Sometimes I didn't feel like I could talk to God, but God spoke to my grandma, which allowed me to open up, which then in return softened my heart so I could hear God. Because sometimes it's hard to talk to something that you can't see. And I said, now I know I feel I can feel God. I see him in the trees. I see, but this individual had stopped going to church because of their mental health issues. And I really do believe, sidebar, I think there are more undiagnosed people in the church that struggle with their mental health, but because of the way we have structured this empire, we don't feel safe to tell the truth. So it was the first time me saying, hey, by the way, my father is a pastor, and I struggled with my mental health too, and I'm in therapy. And the tears, and at the end of that, I said, this might sound weird. I know you've been to church in a minute, but I'm gonna take a risk. Can I pray for you? And I was able to pray for him before all the guests. And still today, he reminds me of, you did not shame me for the things that I was struggling with in my mind. He says, that was the first time I felt God in 5 years. Again, simplify it. I didn't have to feel it. I was seasoning down some ribs. I said, I would never serve somebody something undone. I want to make sure it's prepared and it's right. And I said, I just feel like we're so undone and we're just wounding people. I was just on a moment, and I didn't realize in me just talking out loud and cooking some food that it lowered his wall. And I've had other conversations. People, I feed them. They say, we were on the verge of a divorce, but the way we felt loved, and then we share our story. There's power in our testimony. You did not go through that test for no reason, but you can't have the money without the test. The testimony, you've got to go through the test, and it's your job to share how you survived, how you gotten through it. That empowers people. What does that scripture says? We overcame them by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. So that's the power of also being able to have people come over, is not only did you feed them, their wall gets dropped, but then they feel safe to share something about themselves. I just had two, like I said in the chat, I just had two guys over. They're 23 years old. He opens up, he said, I'm trying to get off the weed. I said, okay. Did you enjoy the pork chop? I did. He was like, but I'm trying to get off the weed. I said, so what can we do what are some steps? What are some things? And you just be there for that person. You don't turn around, because we know us saved folks can give faces, expressions. Oh, you on that weed? Wow, you miss God. How can you miss God when he's all around you? You can't. So I know somebody's talking. What you got to say? I'm sorry. I'm talking.
No.
What? I'm talking too much.
I was
What
just
is
making
the
a
chat
joke.
saying? I can't even see the chat. I don't know what's going on. Oh my God.
Oh, you can't see the chat? They're going off.
I guess you're on the same.
Oh yeah, they've been going off.
You got a mixture of this is real, this is good, and then you got jokes too, and you got people saying they don't like ribs. Ribs are disgusting.
Okay.
That was all the same person.
So you got, but you got.
I love that you were open to the specific way God wants to use you. It's so important not to be afraid to do something different. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
People are just saying hospitality is a major key. Mm-hmm. They're just saying, help us, Jay.
Oh, no.
That's right. This is so powerful. Wow.
But see, this is...
And I think
this is big. Because sometimes people feel like for God to use them and to speak through them, that they need a platform at church.
Come on.
And so, like, even for me, it's like, it may be tough to hear from me of someone who may stand behind that platform. But I never disrespect the platform, but I always let people know that this is not the pinnacle of getting a message across. If anything, within church, we are correcting some stuff, and it's going to be,
it's giving Paul.
But I think that, like, if you look at a lot of what the Bible tells us about Jesus, a lot of the stories about him didn't take place in the temple. Mm-hmm. It's like, he taught in the temple. He preached outside. He preached on the side of a mountain, like,
on a boat,
in people's houses. And so, but I also,
think, but to be vulnerable with you two, and I think this is going to help somebody. I'm going to be honest. The most broken platform I experienced was the church.
Yeah.
But that does not mean that the church does not work or have power.
Right.
It just means that some of us are called to edify people within the building, and some of us need to understand that our assignment outside of the building. If I had stayed for me and kept fighting a platform that didn't know how to allow me to operate or allow me to grow in my gift, I would have missed television. I would have missed mass media. I would have missed universities. Some people can't. And it's not that I can't go into it, go in and out of it, but it was such a lesson for me. And I had to learn, not that the church is a bad place. No, the church is a beautiful place. We need the church. If anything, the church needs to rise up in times like these and lay down their idols of what structure needs to be. And we actually just need to preach the gospel. But at the end of the day, all of what I learned from the church, I'm now taking that same thing. I learned how to be emotionally in touch with people. I learned how to watch out for snakes within the church. I learned how to worship God from an authentic space. So I'm just taking that. It's not packaged to be perfect. I'm just taking that and using that in a different lane. And if anything, what I'm doing is supposed to lead people back to God so they can be built up on those Sundays. Because a lot of times, church is treated like, to be very frank, sometimes we treat church like a drug addict. We get shot up hoping that it holds us, and we got all these issues that we're not dealing with during the week. So hopefully somebody like my voice can be your Monday through Friday to get you to your Sunday. So that way we can actually do this thing together. We're supposed to partner together. I love what you said earlier. You know, we have all these churches that are back and forth. We're actually on one team. We really are. There are some people in the world that the church should partner with, and there's some people in the church that the world should partner with. Now, you don't want mixture to where, listen, you can't listen. Like, we're not talking about you twerked on Monday and, and they're like, let me up here on this platform. There are some boundaries, and I respect that. But there are some things that some of us are supposed to do outside of the church that allows God's light to be shown that way. And so for me, I've been able to not just cook for people that go to church, but people that are outside church. But I have found that sometimes when I blend the two, they have more in common than they don't. That's all. To me, and y'all might throw me out of this thing, I think the church at times can be the most dangerous, because at least with the world, I know what Satan looked like, but we mask in the church. So therefore, it's hard to really deal with certain issues. That's why I think we need to be open to being able to open up our spaces. Like I said, don't let the devil in, but allow for authentic conversations, serve people, be an answer to the problem. And we don't have to fix everything in one night. That's another thing too. Okay, I don't know what the chat's saying. They probably like, get him out of here. He's a
they're saying this is so real. This is so real. Montrell just said, upon this rock, I will build my church. The question is it his? Talking about the modern church model. And I think that it's like the model that we have right now is the model that the Pharisees came out of. Like it's not, and it's even obviously more modernized, but I think it's important to realize that ministry is not just preaching. Ministry, you minister the love of God to people. You can minister in lots of different ways. And I think that people are missing how their gift is supposed to function in the kingdom, because they're looking for a spot to do it in church. They're looking for a spot on a team. They're looking for, you know what I mean? And God is like, I put that gift in you so you could be the kingdom wherever you go. Right. And so I think that this is huge, because it's you have hospitality, you have serving, you have all these things that we know are in the Bible, but we apply it to hospitality ministry at church, and that's it.
And
that's the only way you can serve.
One of my directors for a show I was hosting, he is gay, and he grew up in the church, white man. He's now probably in his late 60s. I was doing a reading on the teleprompter for the news, and he was asking me, just different questions. And I just slipped out. I was like, I grew up in church. And he goes, oh my God, so did I. And he began to talk about issues he had with his family. And all I said, if I could just give one word of encouragement, I don't need to talk about you being gay or that, but growing up, I said, sometimes we look at God and we find our identity in our parents. And when our parents disapprove, we disconnect from God. And I said, God created people, but he didn't create all this mess. And so I hope that you can find your way back to God. That gay man, he was my director. He broke down crying. He said, I have
Wow.
never felt so loved. We are in the newsroom. And when I was done doing the news, I didn't stop there. I went over to him. I said, can I pray for you? He said, yes. I prayed for him. Now that man had posted and said, I had totally abandoned God, but for the first time in 20 something years, I felt like I can talk to God again. My job is not to change him. My job is not to fix him. My job is to just be a light and direct it. That's it. Think of everything you do, whoever's online right now. Think of a bowling alley. Think of a bowling alley. People are going to toss their lives down the middle of that aisle, but sometimes they make choices and decisions. And your job as a believer, just be the buffers on the side. Remind them that they are called. Remind them that they are worthy. Remind them that they are great. Don't go, hey, I just want to encourage you. That's it. Your job is not to be like, why did you go down there? Because we are required. We should take risk. But in the midst of that, as people of God, I have found myself, even in raising my children, because they're not perfect, I just decide to be the guards and decide to remind them of who they are and where they come from. That's your job. I don't know what these Pharisees do, and half the time they're doing the things that they're judging. But at the end of the day, as a real believer, we are supposed to remind people of where they come from. You come from God. Why would you? Hey, I just want to remind you, you are worthy. You don't got to settle for that. You know, there's greatness on the inside of you. You don't have to lower yourself. Don't settle for that. Instead of saying, would you pull down your skirt? You know what? We should go hang out. I would love to show. Simple. We don't have to overcomplicate it. And that's why, even there's a statistic, the church attendance is at an all-time low. We are exhausted with performance. So I think the church actually starts with us. Then it enters into your home, and then you lead them to the building.
Yep.
We are trying to get building, but our homes suck. And we don't talk to people, and we're not hospitable ourselves. So start from within and work your way out. They'll last long. They'll last long. That's just me. But who am I? I'm just trying to make it in this world. I'm just saying, I don't
Whatever.
preach on
hold on,
stage
time
like
out.
that.
This, yeah, because this man, drop a lot of insight, and then
And be like, whatever.
yeah, I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to
Kanye West.
survive. I'm just
Kanye
existing.
West.
I'm just
in
here.
this.
I'm
But
just,
Beth,
No,
you have
no.
anything that that you want to
I'm
piggyback
listening.
off of that, or?
I mean, no, that was fire. I mean, I think that even understanding as believers, and I think that Jay, you might be able to speak to this, but just how to receive people, that are different, that are not living according to God's word, how to truly share the love of God with them. Because I think in church, we can become so wrapped up, and Daniel talked about this morning, the rules, the regulations, the rituals, the things that we may have been taught from a young age, the way that, even some of the things that the ways the Bible says to live, but Jesus never let the way that person was supposed to become hinder him from how he approached that person. He saw what they could become, the potential that the Father created them to be, and he showed them love. And that a lot of times it was that love that changed them, experiencing the love of God. Just like the way that you express that person, when they identified, okay, I have had mental health issues. I'm dealing with these things. It made them realize that they're not unworthy of God's love. Well, we technically are unworthy, but that doesn't separate them from God's love, right? And
Right.
so, as the body of Christ, for anyone who may be on here and not realize how to approach people or how to receive people, whether it's in their home or whether it's just in regular conversation, I think that that's an important lesson on understanding, how we can approach people and how we can receive people that approach us when it comes to just showing the love of God to everybody.
Right. And I think that for me, I think of this, my favorite scripture actually, be wise as a and harmless as a dove. So when you think of the snake sees you before you see the snake. It has already sensed the temperature of the room. It knows what's going on. It's very keen and very wise. But then a dove is a representation of peace and grace. So when you think of approaching people, Sense the temperature of the room before you strike with your words. That's my dog. I'm sorry.
What type of dog is that? That sounds like a bull mastiff.
No, he's big. His name is Prince.
What type of
He's
dog is he?
he is a what is he again, Shannon? A poodle, standard poodle.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
it's
he's a
just a
standard
poodle.
poodle.
It sound like something
No,
that's.
but he's tall. He's really tall.
Is he dangerous? Is he mean?
No, no, he's actually very gentle, and he barks. His bark is louder than actually what he can do. So,
Oh, okay.
but I think that the biggest thing is you have to sense the temperature of the room, and then also I think as the body of Christ, please don't forget where you come from. I think there's something to be. It feels like what happens is things start going good in our lives, and we begin to see the things that maybe we believe for, or things start turning around, and it's like we forget that we were once a part of a storyline that we did not want. So all of us are walking around this earth, saved, unsaved, with all these different storylines. And you have to ask yourself, what is the part that you're supposed to play? Holy Spirit, or some people say Holy Ghost. Ask God for wisdom on before you just say what you think. Sometimes they don't need you to say anything. Sometimes it's just listening. I have found that there is more power in listening to people than actually saying something to people. Because when people feel like they've been validated, and validated is not talking about like, I approve of your sin. We're not saying that. But sometimes just letting them get it out and then you just sitting with them.
Yeah, being heard.
Yeah.
Being heard. That's a big thing right now. And I think about it. When those Pharisees, I'll say the Christians, she was caught in the middle of they had a lot to say. They stoned her. They had a lot to say. Jesus did. He just stooped down the ground. Now, pastors have come up with what they think he wrote, but he just stood down the ground. Then when he got up, he called her by who he knew her to be. So when you're dealing with people and they come into your life, be quiet. Listen with them and be willing to get down in the dirt with them. And then don't shame them. And when they get up again, you call them by who they are. I do this a lot with men. When they're going through hard times, I say, you're a good man. I'm not going to edify or amplify their mistake. I'm going to go down with them. I'm going to come up and say, you're a good man. And I have found the more I speak to who they really are, I begin to see the change. I don't know what happened to that woman after she got up and sinned no more. I don't know. We don't know. We can't assume. We can't lie, make up storylines. We can't. All we know is he called her daughter and she went about her way. But the biggest thing I know is the loudest mouths in the room were those that were in the church. They had a lot to say, but they didn't want to get down in the dirt. They just wanted to catch her dirt. So when you get people in your lives, be sensitive to the room. Wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. When you get down into that dirt with him, when you get up, may your words come with peace and grace. And grace, listen, grace, real grace, comes with conviction. So what's coming out of your mouth will cause them to want to steer the ship and turn away. Because your life is a testimony. Your life, you sharing where you come from, allows them to tell something about what they're going through. What I just said in that past 3 minutes would solve, I would say, 40% of the church.
Maybe more than that. I think 40
Maybe,
is
but I'm giving a low number because today, who am I? I don't know. But I'm just saying that what I just said to you, you should be able to sit with anybody. And because they feel the love of God, you can go down. Here we go. Jesus went down into hell and got the keys. You should be able to go down and come out. And come out with victory with them, come out with grace with them, come out with peace with them. They should not feel like, well, they just left me in hell still because how they judged me. They caught me in my mess and how they judged me.
Jay, I think
I haven't preached in a long time.
Nah, man. Nah, you already know what I'm about to say.
I know. I've already been thinking it.
Jay, like, yeah. We'll talk offline, bro. Because, I mean, I think church is going to begin looking a lot different. I think that there were some things that need to happen. And because I think that those things shaped us, and so I think that that partially God allowed us to kind of experience and deal with some things, and I think it's mature because I know personally some of the really mind-boggling things that you may have had to deal with or see that could have just really turned you off, but I think it gives all of us a sharper sword. Because I think our assignment is attached and God had to allow us to experience certain things to see. But we can go all night with this. We may be able to pick up next week. But I did want to thank Jay.
Wait. Hi, Shannon. I know that you're back there. I just want to say I haven't talked to y'all in so long, but I hope that you're well. I hope all the kids are doing great. Yes. And I miss y'all.
It's Bethany. They're on their live stream.
Yeah, hi. Just
got back from basketball.
Yeah, all his kids are grown now. When we were going over, I think his oldest was like 10 years old. He's like in college now, probably. So
I'm gonna cry
tomorrow, guys. I have a 20-year-old. Listen, if you don't want to age, this is the secret. Keep hell out of your life. Joy will preserve your body.
Period.
It will preserve you. But my other son, he'll be 16 in September, and then Adeline's going to be 13, going on 27.
She was just a baby,
I
think, or
she
like
was
a toddler.
A toddler, yeah.
So no, that's amazing. But Jay, thank you. I think that this is something that as I know we're working on some branding and some different things to where I feel led number one to actually take the step to host. And to do it well, but I also feel led to brand it to lead others into doing the same thing all across. And so I appreciate you, man. Thank you for hopping on, even though with no notice, and being able to share, because I think that I just try to be thought provoking and get people to think about a lot of the things that we've missed. So, but man, we appreciate you.
Love you.
Yeah, man.
Love you, Goo.
Love you.
But cool. So
I'm so excited, babe. You know how when we started talking about this after God had given you this revelation, then we started being gifted like dining sets and chargers and napkins and tablecloths.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy how all that happened.
Wait, hold up. What? Someone said it's his birthday.
No, don't pay. This is Nini's foolishness. Oh. Don't get involved.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, we had Jay on. It was his birthday. But I want to read a passage of scripture to close.
All
right. John 21. Because some of y'all may have not heard the scripture or know about this before. This is after Jesus died on the cross, and this is when he came back. It says, later, Jesus appeared again to the disciples beside the Sea of Galilee. This is how it happened. Several of the disciples were there: Simon, Peter, Thomas, Nathanael, and the sons of Zebedee, and two other disciples. Peter said, "I'm going fishing." "We'll come too," they all said. So they went out into the boat, but they caught nothing all night. At dawn, Jesus was standing on the beach, but the disciples couldn't see who he was. He called out, "Fellows, have you caught any fish?" "No," they replied. Then he said, "Throw out your net on the right-hand side of the boat and you'll get some." So they did, and they couldn't haul in the net because there were so many fish in it. This is not to be confused with the other time where they were fishing. Then the disciple Jesus loved said to Peter, "It's the Lord." So this is them recognizing what happened, and at that moment they recognized who it was. They were a few hundred yards away, but he said, "It's the Lord." So when Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put on his tunic, jumped into the water, and headed to the shore. The others stayed with the boat and pulled the loaded net to shore, for they were only about 100 yards from shore. When they got there, they found breakfast waiting for them. Fish cooking over a charcoal fire and some bread. This man Jesus came back from the dead, showed up on the beach, and was cooking breakfast.
Like what?
And then Jesus said, "Bring some of the fish you just caught." So Simon Peter went aboard and dragged the net to the shore. There were 153 large fish, and yet the net hadn't torn. "Now come and have some breakfast," Jesus said. None of the disciples dared to ask him, "Who are you?" They knew it was the Lord. Then Jesus served them the bread and the fish. And this was the third time Jesus had appeared to his disciples since he had been raised from the dead. Then it says, after breakfast, Jesus asked Simon Peter, No.
Jesus cooking breakfast is wild. Exactly. And
a lot of people, like, I was like, bro, Jesus was on the beach. And after he had resurrected and was cooking breakfast on the beach.
Yeah.
Like, I think that we think of Jesus as someone who was always being served, but he was like,
yeah.
I wonder what type of fish it was. It said it was over charcoal, like over an open fire. I wonder how good the fish was. I wonder, did Jesus season the fish?
Oh, he said you don't even have to say grace over that. Grace made it.
Right. Man, So I'm just that's eye opener for anyone who has never heard that passage of scripture. Jesus came back from the dead and was cooking breakfast on the beach.
But then but you always want to know something else too, because I'm not gonna lie. When we first started talking about this, I'm like, how much food we gonna get? How many people we feeding? But every single time that somebody needed to be fed, there was provision for that to happen. And I think that there's so much. There's so much of that in the Bible. It didn't matter how many people were. It didn't matter if it was 5,000 or however many people that had to be fed. Provision always came when the people needed to be fed. Also, on top of that, how many times were people trying to do something in the normal way it should be done? They were just fishing, casting their nets. It's not like they were, just doing their own thing and not doing things the right way. They were letting down their nets, normal. But once they yielded themselves to listening to instruction and being obedient, that's when it yielded results. And so I think that, going back to obedience, it's just super key. And being open to hearing what God is speaking to you, because you could be casting a net the whole time, but then he says, cast it this way, cast it on this side, do it this way, do it that way, and you got what you need. Wait, what's happening in the chat?
I wonder how long it took him to cook with holes in his hands.
Jeremiah is in detention.
I don't know. He might have had I don't know if they had spatulas back then.
I mean, they had some type of sticks or something they was moving the fish around with. They had to flip it over.
Bro.
I'm not here for...
And the first time that Jesus appeared to his disciples, he was joining them on a journey somewhere, and they didn't know it was him. Mm-hmm. And it said that when they got to their destination, and I forgot what scripture it is, you can look it up, but they were about to eat that time, and Jesus blessed the food, and then that's when they recognized that it was Jesus. And so a couple of the times that he presented himself to them, it had to do with communing. And so I just think that
that's what I was gonna say, Christian.
I think that when you look at like the last thing that he did before they took him and beat him and put him on the cross was a meal.
And then
the Last Supper.
He rose up and had breakfast.
I'm just like, how do we read the Bible and miss, and then when you put everything together, they accuse him of eating too much and drinking too much. They were mad at who he was eating with and drinking with. He did it throughout the Bible. He multiplied fish and bread and fed a lot of people. I'm just kind of like, if you study, I'm sure there's a lot more instances that you could pull out. But I'm just like communing with people and breaking bread with people was very important to Jesus. And I think that we should study, and I think that we should really look into, there was something, a revelation that Jesus had that I don't think that we have fully, because if we did have the revelation, a lot more of us would be hosting, we would be taking people out to eat, we would be, just in more of that type of flow. And so I think that like we should pause and look at the way in which Jesus the way in which he engaged with sinners was oftentimes over a meal, and oftentimes over breaking bread with them. And I think that like that's something that you should.
And he was always feeding people and turning water to wine and just trying to creating vibes. Okay, just creating vibes.
Yeah,
it's so much to it, but it's exciting.
Do you think Jesus put Old Bay on his fish?
I mean, even examples like you are the salt of the earth. Why are we talking about salt, Jesus? He was probably hungry.
Nah, but that's I don't know. I just think it's interesting, and I think we should look more into it. I think that I'll give myself.
Babe, we better go ahead and launch this before the name gets taken, just like night school.
Yeah.
We don't have time to waste. We just need to ride the momentum wave. How are we going to get it done? How are we going to do it? It's just going to happen.
Right.
The hats are going to get made, Those are the vibes I'm on.
Yep. No, but that's true, though. It was fish and bread. That's Filet-O-Fish. Tartar sauce.
First of all, do not minimize what my God, my King made down to something you can get at McDonald's. Yeah. That's wild.
But guys, I don't know. I just feel
Bacon
so much
shark.
energy.
Bacon shark, Christian.
We be kind of at it all day. Like I said, I think, like I said, we had church this morning. We had dinner at our house today.
That's right, Joy. You should not live off bread alone. He said, "Where's the fish?" I'm just kidding.
We've done night school. The power went off at our building. I don't know. I still feel energetic. I think that I'm thankful. I feel joy even in spite of some of the difficult things, and I think it's just I don't want to say too much, but I just think that for anybody out there, just try to find the joy of the Lord, be in God's will, do what God tells you to do, and let God fight your battles. You can get so frustrated when there's a battle going on and there's taunting going on and there's just things that just that makes you feel away. But the trick of the enemy is to pull you out of the spirit, is to get you to try to fight spiritual things naturally. And what I would like to say, in addition to don't miss the point, which is from the message earlier, is also don't take the bait. Don't take the bait that the enemy wants to set to pull you out of your character.
Don't take the bait.
To try to prove a point. I think that at the end of the day, just do what God tells you to do, and just pray. Have God show you. There's things that's going to bother you. There's things that's going to pull on you. But I think that God has a way every time to where you'll be able to rise above the difficult things or the things that you can't really control. And I think that in time, God will solve it. So if you're out there and you identify with that, just be encouraged. Beth, did you have any parting words?
Nope. Why are you laughing? This is a great. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I feel, I just feel really like alive and energized. I just feel I'm feeling great, honestly. I'm feeling great. I feel like, there's a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of things to be done, but it feels like we're right in the pocket. And so I'm just excited to see the rest of the layers that God builds around what's happening in the season, because he planned the good work. Like, I think that it kind of makes me emotional understanding and knowing. We know that God knows the beginning from the end, but when it's so specific to who you are, somebody saying something childish in the comments.
Nah, Jeremiah's saying we don't sound energized.
First of all, Jeremiah, you're about to get kicked out of my class. You've been trying it all night. Anyways.
Pop up with 5 more burner accounts like
Nene. But yeah, I was just going to say that it makes me emotional to think about how it's a setup and how these good works were planned long before we were even here, and how you can look back to the times to where, you were praying and hoping and wishing, but God knew this moment better than, so intimately already at that point. Yeah. And it's like, and there's so much more.
And even the evil things, and I can speak for us personally, even the evil things that have shown off or shown themselves, it has revealed and pulled the cover off some other things that needed to be revealed. Mm-hmm. And so I think that, like, at the end of the day, and the results, and I don't know, I don't want to be too specific to us and like what we're seeing, especially even within our church and those who are part of our church family, but like there were some things that were in the way that have been removed as a result of some of the negative things that were difficult to go through. But that revealed a whole other slew of things that we were able to surgically get rid of. Maybe next week we'll dive into I had a couple of passages of scripture, Titus 2 and 3. I kind of want to go through. Maybe we'll go through the entire book of Titus at some point. But anyways, I know we're saying a lot, but shout out to the media people. Last week I know I said some stuff on the show. I had a couple of sidebars with media on the Mount Gilead side, and media with the young lady who works for our media company. And I was like, look, God is doing so much right now, and like, y'all are gifted, but like, I'm not saying you are half-stepping, but you can't be half-stepping because there's so much happening that needs to be captured and that needs to be shared, because there's a synergy and God is doing a great work, and we want to just tell that story really well. So I want to give a shout out to them there's a lot more that's coming behind all of this, but I feel like so far so good with the creativity and just being able to capture the things that God is doing. So shout out to y'all, and I think that's it. I think she said any homework. I think the homework would be you need to start planning. If you don't host at all, host something.
And it doesn't have to be, you can have people over for pizza. You can go out somewhere. Y'all can eat Lunchables at the park for all I care. But I think that, having and it could be one other person, it could be a group of people. But I do think that having more opportunities, that you are sharing the love of God, that you are reaching out, that you are having real conversations, which food kind of opens the floor for naturally. I think that it's so important that we connect outside of the normal four walls of the church and in the ways in which we're so used to. And really, because I think that very divine things can happen in settings like that will not feel rehearsed, that will not feel churchy, that will not feel ritualistic. It will not feel like put your hands up and let me lay you out with a lap cloth. But inner workings, things, the anointing will still be there. The anointing will still rest on people. So gotta do it.
They're saying we need a live, hold up. We need a live extra credit. They're talking about pork chops at Waffle House. listen to these concepts. Chipotle at the park, grilled cheese and soup get-togethers. That sounds kind of like that might be a vibe.
Christian, I know you said your grilled cheese is good, but I know it's
Crab
not better than
legs
mine.
at the park. The only type of soup you should be eating with grilled cheese is tomato soup. No, you don't. No,
Alphabet soup.
Alphabet soup doesn't go
It's
with.
for toddlers. What are we talking about?
But yeah, homework is just plan something.
Kayla, I love you. I'm not eating
You don't
anything
have
you
to
cook.
do it this week, but
You
begin
go in
to
the
plan
Lunchable
something.
category.
Yeah, begin to plan something and be intentional
with
about
y'all.
breaking bread and communing, bringing people together, and yeah, let's and we're gonna maybe we can make sure that as we go on with the show
Christian.
that we keep this a thing.
You think I'm a novice to grilled cheese? Take several
PB&J
seats.
on the golf course.
That's kind of oxymoronic.
Yeah,
It sounds like men with no wives.
no, just
Like that's all you can come up with. If you're on a good golf course, you should be able to get like the cart girl to bring you something.
yeah. But I'm excited because, and we got to end the show. But like I'm on a first name basis with the owner of Brewster's, two of the locations in Richmond, and this is a really good thing for someone like me to be on a first name basis with a person who owns an ice cream shop. So I'm excited
Big back
about
behavior.
this potential partnership that we'll be talking about soon. And then with what we're talking, I know we didn't quite reveal it, but it's going to be interesting at how God puts it together, because we're going to be definitely collaborating with Beth can cook really great, but I think we're going to be collaborating with a chef or chefs.
Yeah, most of the time I will not be cooking the food. I might do it sometimes because I feel like I have to overcome the anxiety of cooking for people because I actually can cook.
Yeah.
I actually can.
That was a bonus thing for me, because y'all think you ever cooked for me before we got married? Mm-mm. But once we got married, like, your food is really good.
Thank you.
And there's a lot of things. There's a lot that I like about you.
Wait. Okay. Thanks.
Bye, guys. Y'all have a good night and a good week.